All right, Spurs lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we're going back to back, boys. Lose to Utah, lose to Cleveland, and just have to give Cleveland their credit. They beat us. They played a really good game. If we're playing a team like we played OKC and they miss a lot of shots, they have a lot of turnovers. I won't just say, "Hey, we got lucky. OKC had all these missed shots and turnovers." I'll say the Spurs forced them to miss shots. The Spurs forced them into those turnovers, and Cleveland played great defense. They forced us to miss shots. They forced us into a lot of turnovers. And yeah, man, we just lost the game, but it is what it is. If you gave me a contract before the season started and said, "Hey, if you sign this, the Spurs are going to lose back-to-back games in December, but y'all are still going to be the number 2 seed in the West," I would definitely sign the contract. So we're still in good shape, but yeah, we lost the back-to-back games. We won the 3 games against OKC in 2 weeks, and everyone in San Antonio were thinking we're gonna win the championship, dude. Can we hang the banger up? The banger? Can we hang the banner up already? We beat OKC back to back. Let's hang up our championship banner, but it was a little early. But again, we'll just give Cleveland their credit. They played really well. Here's our lead tracker. The maroon is Cleveland. The black is San Antonio, of course. Before I get into the numbers, just one of my really quick takeaways. We just had a ton of turnovers in the game. We shot really poorly, and that's back-to-back games that we've shot really poorly. Champagny, Harrison Barnes. I'm getting kind of worried. They've been really off from three these past probably like 5 games at least, to be honest, with Champagny and Harrison Barnes, and I'm a bit concerned about those guys. But moving on though, the first quarter, Cleveland comes out and they get off to a good start. They're up like 4 points. They come out of the gates with a faster start than we do, and then Mitch Johnson calls a little timeout. We regroup the troops again. Stephon Castle throws the off the backboard alley oop to Victor Wembanyama, and I'm thinking, we're here, baby. We're about to go on a crazy run, and we're gonna control the game. But it was the first quarter. It was a little bit early, but Cleveland gets up 10 points in the first quarter. This little box is our second quarter. We come back pretty strong. We open it up to probably a 12-point lead in the second quarter right here. Going into halftime, we're up probably 7 or 8 points. Never felt like the game was out of control. It felt like, Cleveland's a good team. We're going back and forth with them. We're right there in the game. De'Aaron Fox is back. We get into the third quarter. We're up the entire third quarter. Going into the fourth, if you see right here, Cleveland just kind of has an avalanche, and they finish the game stronger than us. Donovan Mitchell had like 10 points, I think, the first 3 quarters. Then I think he had 10 points in the fourth quarter alone. If y'all remember, Tyson for the Cavaliers, he hits back-to-back corner threes. The first one, I think they go up 4. He hits another one. They're up 7. And it kind of felt like the game was done at that point. It was still like 8 minutes left, but those 2 threes, it just felt like they hurt us really, really bad. And then, we just weren't able to flurry and get our way back into the game. But again, we'll give Cleveland credit. Cleveland played a really good game. Moving on though, Cleveland's biggest lead was 13. Ours was 11 points. There was 10 different lead changes, so it was a bit of a back and forth game. It was a good game just as far as watching an entertaining basketball game. I am sad the Spurs lost, but again, it was a good game. Another one of my takeaways, I was thinking Jared Allen did lead the team in scoring. That's a pretty rare thing for the Cavaliers, but he definitely did. He had 27 points. We'll get to the player stats in a second, but Jared Allen was wrecking us. Great game for Jared Allen. We lose by 12 in the end, 111 to 113. Felt like we got just destroyed, to be honest. In the end, like I said, Tyson made those 2 corner threes. Donovan Mitchell made a step back 3 shortly after that, and it just felt like we weren't doing enough to win the game. And sure enough, we didn't do enough at the end of the day. We have 52 boards, they have 57, so we beat them in the rebound battle. They have 29 assists to our 21 assists. It felt like they were just moving the ball much better than us, and at the end of the day, they were. They have the 12 steals. We have 7 steals. We'll get to Stephon Castle in a second here. He's been very turnover prone all season long. We'll get to in a second. I wouldn't blame it so much completely on Stephon Castle, but he has been pretty turnover prone so far in the season. They have 4 blocks. We have 2. It's kind of surprising we only had 2 blocks. I want to say Wemby did have a block this game. We'll double check it in a second. We do have the 18 turnovers though. We'll get to Stephon Castle just really quickly right now. I'm pretty sure Castle had 5 turnovers just to kind of throw it out there. He has been very turnover prone all season. I don't think we really need him to be our primary playmaker out there, but again, we'll get to that in a second. We shoot 38% from the field. I think that's back to back games. I think we shot under 40% against Utah as well. So, man, we shot 22% from three. I think that's back to back games. We shot under 23% from three and under 40% from the field. Because if I'm not mistaken, we shot under 40% against Utah, and we shot probably like 23% from three against Utah as well. So I'll give Utah credit. They played good defense. I'll give Cleveland credit. They played very good defense on us as well. But on our end, we're getting some pretty decent looks from three, and we are just missing all of our threes. Again, Champagnie and Harrison Barnes have just been very off for us as shooters. To start the season, Harrison Barnes was shooting like 50% from three, probably like literally the first 15 games. He was just absolutely on fire. Same thing with Champagnie. He was knocking down a crazy amount of threes, and now we've just gone ice cold. I don't think they're going to be cold the rest of the season, of course, just like I didn't think Harrison Barnes was going to shoot 50% from three all season long, but we need to get something going with our shooters because they've been so off these past 2 games, and again, Champagnie and Barnes have been off probably at least these past 5 games. But moving on, Cleveland's 90% from the free throw line. We're 83%. I think we did a much better job getting to the line than they did. We'll get to those exact stats in a second as well, but I think we shot way more free throws than them. And if you watch the game, we're just getting fouled a lot. We're doing a good job getting into the paint. We did a good job of not fouling Cleveland and not sending Cleveland to the line, but we just did a really poor job taking care of the ball. Again, we had 18 turnovers to their 12 turnovers. Having nearly 20 turnovers just inexcusable. You have to take better care of the ball. Cleveland's 50 points in the paint. We're at 46, so that's pretty much a wash. 15 second chance points for Cleveland. We have 17, so again, that's pretty much a wash as well. They have 17 fast break points compared to our 10. I don't know if these count as fast break points, but there was times in the game, multiple plays where we made a shot and they're running back to the other end and they get an open three or an open layup, and again, that's just inexcusable to make a shot on your end, then not get back and get set on defense off of a made shot in your own basket. So, it was just not a great game for us. We'll get started with Cleveland stats first of all. Donovan Mitchell again, he had a bad game. He hit that big step back three. It was probably 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Felt like a real punch in the stomach. But again, Donovan Mitchell, he only had 10 points all game long. I thought he had 10 in the fourth quarter. I saw a stat they showed. I think maybe he had 5 points the whole first 3 quarters, then 5 points in the fourth quarter. He didn't have a great game, needless to say. He has 10 points and 3 turnovers. He does have the 7 assists, but not a great game for Mitchell, but he hits that big three on us. Darius Garland, he has 15 points and 11 assists. He had a really nice assist to Evan Mobley, if y'all remember. He was probing in the paint. He draws Wemby out, and De'Aaron Fox switches. He's trying to front Evan Mobley, and Garland throws a pass right over the top. It was a beautiful little alley-oop to Mobley, if y'all remember that play. Wade knocks down 2 threes. Felt like he made more. Evan Mobley has 16 on us. Jared Allen was just a beast in the paint. He's hitting like free throw line jumpers. He's hitting little push shot floaters. I didn't realize Jared Allen was so skilled. My apologies, Jared Allen, but he had an awesome game. 10 rebounds as well to go along with his 27 points. That's so crazy. I'm not used to seeing Jared Allen be the leading scorer for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but all credit to Jared Allen, all credit to Cleveland. Tyson, he hit 3 threes all game. 2 of them, I'm sure y'all remember, it was corner threes back to back with maybe 6 or 7 minutes left in the fourth. After he made those back-to-back threes, Cleveland was up 7 points. I'm not going to say I gave up on the boys. I never give up on the Spurs, but those felt like just 2 big old punches in the stomach, and they were really big momentum changers. I think I want to say the first one was to put him up 2 because that gave them the lead, and the second one I think was to put him up 5, and those really hurt. De'Aaron Fox is back. Our boy Swipe is back. He had a bad game, 14 points, 3 assists, only the 2 turnovers. De'Aaron does a really good job of taking care of the ball. He's our best point guard, of course. He's our best orchestrator offensively. You could argue if you like Dylan Harper better than De'Aaron Fox, as far as just a floor general and a playmaker. We haven't got to see it too much with Dylan Harper. He had he only had 17 minutes this game. I feel like that's kind of weird. I feel like Dylan should be getting at least 20 plus minutes every single game in my opinion. But De'Aaron has the 14 points on 13 shots. He's 1 for 6 from three, 1 steal. Just not a good game for De'Aaron Fox. I'm sure you'd be the first person to tell us that. But he missed last game. He had I think a hip adductor injury. It said nothing too serious. He looked just fine out there. He was moving around just fine. And I'm really never worried about De'Aaron Fox. He might have an off game. He'll probably drop 25 points next game, and he'll be just fine. Stephon Castle, we'll get to Castle in a second. Harrison Barnes and Champagnie, we'll just throw them in the same boat. I kind of evaluate those guys the same because if Harrison Barnes and Champagnie aren't knocking down three balls, they're honestly not providing a lot for us out there. Harrison Barnes and Champagnie, they're not really playmakers. They're not going to get off the dribble and get all the way to the rim and create rim pressure to finish at the rim or, pump fake and drive into the lane and kick out for an open shooter in the corner. They are the open shooters in the corner, and they've been so cold these past like 5 games. Let me know. I'm sure y'all have noticed that. They've just been ice cold. But Harrison Barnes, he's 1 for 7. He's 1 for 5 from three. He's a veteran player. It feels like he's losing confidence in himself. I hate to say that, but Harrison Barnes, every time he shot a three early in the season, those corner threes, he was Mr. 100%, like Sean Elliott would say. And now, I don't know what it is, just the way it comes off of his hands. It just seems like he's not very confident in his shot. I probably said 2 or 3 games ago I'm not worried about Barnes and Champagnie, but I am worried about this point. I'm not even gonna lie. They're due for a hot streak. I said that before the Utah Jazz game. They're due for a hot streak. At least one of them. They're off in the Utah game. Said the same thing. They're due for a hot streak. They're off again in the Cleveland game. And, I'm just worried about those guys because, like I said again, we go through Barnes' stat line. He gives us 4 rebounds, 3 assists, the 1 steal. So he gave us a little bit outside of the shooting. But if he's 1 for 5 from three, only 3 points, he's 1 for 7 from the field. They're out there to be floor spacers. They're out there to space out the defense. And if they're not making threes and the defense doesn't have to respect them, they can come off and send more pressure towards De'Aaron Fox, send more defensive pressure towards Wembanyama. And yeah, man, it's been rough. It's been rough watching Harrison and Julian these past 5 or 6 games. Champagnie has 7 points. He's 1 for 3 from three as well. He does give us the 6 rebounds. I lied. That's one thing with Champagnie. He's a decent rebounder. Even if he's not knocking down his three balls, Champagnie's a better defender than Harrison Barnes, but he's just an okay defender. He's not Stephon Castle, of course. He's not De'Aaron Fox or Dylan Harper. They provide a lot more defensively, and I'm just hoping they can get their shot back. I don't know what else to say about them right now. Devin Vassell, guess I'm a little worried about Vassell, not as much as Barnes and Champagnie, but same thing with Vassell. These past 4 or 5 games, maybe 6 games, he may have had a couple good ones in there, but for the most part, his three ball has been off as well. Just our 3-point shot as an entire team has been off, and a lot of it comes down to Barnes and Champagnie because, you know, 10 games ago, earlier in the season, you could just say, all right, Harrison Barnes and Julian Champagnie, they're good for 7 or 8 threes between them. And, lately that just hasn't been the case. Devin Vassell, he's 3 for 10. He has 7 points, 4 rebounds, only 1 turnover. Devin Vassell isn't a high turnover player. We don't put him in position to do a lot of decision making. It's usually, all right, come off the screen, Devin Vassell, here's the ball, make one dribble, get into your mid-range jump shot, just catch and shoot 3 balls wherever you want, basically. And Vassell, if his jump shot is off, he provides more defensively than Harrison Barnes and Julian Champagnie because Devin Vassell is a plus defender. He's not elite by any means, but I think Vassell, he is a very good defender. He can play good physical defense on the perimeter. He's a decent a decent team defender as well. He does a pretty good job reading the passing lanes. He's 6'7", so he can use his size and be pretty versatile switching 1 through 3 defensively. But his three ball has just been off, man. He's just been off altogether. And again, I'm pointing out Barnes, Vassell, and Champagnie. Like I said a second ago, we've been off as a team from three, and honestly, if Vassell, Champagnie, and Barnes are off from three, that's pretty much our best 3-point shooters. And if they can't knock down some threes, we're going to be off as a team, from three. Luke Cornett, he plays 23 minutes, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. He has 1 steal and 1 block. He did a decent job out there. He can bang around with Jared Allen and try to do his best. When Evan Mobley's out there, Evan Mobley kind of negates Luke Cornett, because if they're playing small ball, which they played a bit of small ball out there, Cleveland did, Mobley's just going to drag Cornett out to the perimeter. Mobley can knock down some threes. Mobley can get off the dribble and play make for his teammates. So, Luke Cornett, he did okay. We look at his numbers. He did okay, but Jared Allen just destroyed us. Wemby couldn't stop him. Luke Cornett couldn't stop him. There was one dunk from Jared Allen. It was kind of on Wemby, if y'all remember. It was kind of on the baseline. Wemby came over to block it. Jared Allen just kind of quick dunked it. It wasn't like he posterized him, but that was a pretty cool dunk. I'll give it to Jared Allen on that one. Keldon Johnson, I love Keldon. I say it all the time. He has 8 points this game, 3 rebounds. He does have the 2 turnovers in 17 minutes. Wouldn't call it an off game for Keldon. He just kind of played his role out there. Last game he went off. There'll be games like this where he has 8 points. He only had 3 rebounds, so I guess I would want more from him rebounding-wise, but he's playing against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley out there. Let me see one thing really quick. Jared Allen, Allen had the 10 rebounds. Evan Mobley had 7, so I'm not really expecting Keldon Johnson to go down there and out-rebound Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, but I'm not mad at Keldon for this game. He did his thing out there. Maybe he was tired from last game when he absolutely carried us to a loss. Not saying that was Keldon's fault against the Jazz, but he just had 27 last game. I'm not going to get mad at Keldon for having the 8 points this game. Carter Bryant, he gets 7 minutes out there. He's 0 for 2. He has 2 rebounds. With Carter Bryant, I think Mitch Johnson's trying to get him some minutes out there, of course. I think we're going to need Carter Bryant later in the season. Once we get to the playoffs, if we match up against Houston, we have nobody to guard Kevin Durant. Harrison Barnes isn't going to guard him. Julian Champagnie's not going to guard him. We can try Stephon Castle on him. Stephon Castle's a really good point of attack defender, but when Kevin's coming off of screens, when he's playing off ball, he can kind of just raise up and shoot right over Stephon Castle. Even if Stephon Castle's guarding him on ball, I think Castle will do the best job out of who we have to throw at Kevin Durant. But we need to get Carter Bryant out there, try to get him 15 minutes or so per game. That way, once the playoffs come, if we do match up against Houston, I think Carter Bryant would do the best job on Kevin Durant, but we just have to let him get some more minutes out there. If Harrison Barnes and Champagnie are shooting like this, I have to put some of the onus on Mitch Johnson. If Barnes and Champagnie are off like this, I'm not saying throw him on the bench and don't give him a chance, but if Barnes has taken 5 threes, if Champagnie's already taken 5 threes in the game and they're 0 for 5 or they're 1 for 5, let Carter Bryant get some more minutes out there. Let him get more comfortable. Let him see how some teams run their offense differently. Then hopefully our next game against Houston, we can get Carter Bryant out there. We can get him maybe 15 minutes guarding Kevin Durant, let him get his feet wet, because if we do match up against Houston, we're going to need a big physical perimeter defender to throw at Kevin Durant. Carter Bryant's still young. I don't say he doesn't have a lot of defensive IQ. He is a high IQ defensive player, but just doesn't have the experience in the NBA guarding Kevin Durant, some of these other players. But we love Carter. He's 6'7", 6'8". He has an insane vertical. He has great lateral quickness. He's already a very good defender, even at the NBA level. So I'd like to see us get him some more minutes. So if we do match up against Houston, let me know if y'all agree, but I think he'd do the best job against Kevin Durant, but not if he plays like 7 minutes every game. We just throw him out there to the Wolves in the playoffs. He needs some in-game experience. Again, hopefully he'll get to match up against Kevin Durant next time we play Houston, because I think he'll probably be our best bet to guard Kevin Durant if we can get him some experience before the playoffs start. Um, I go over Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper has 11 points on 11 shots, 45% shooting from the field. Not bad efficiency, but if you have the same amount of points as you do shots, even if you shoot like 50%, I still consider that not a very efficient game, if that makes sense. He has 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. He does have the 4 turnovers, so Harper, he's a rookie, still learning out there as well. I still think that Harper is probably our best playmaking point guard. I think he's better than Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox. As far as like an assist man, he just has. I just feel like he sees the court as a point guard, where De'Aaron Fox sees the court more as a scorer that can also play make, and Stephon Castle is honestly more of a shooting guard that we just try to make play the point guard position, in my opinion. But we all love Dylan Harper. He knocks down the 1-3. His three ball is coming around more and more. He's surprisingly good defensively. He's honestly a very good defender. He does have the 1 steal this game. He's just 6'6". He's big and physical out there. He can play physical defense against some of these smaller guards. He moves his feet very well laterally. So Dylan Harper's been so impressive. He's so ambidextrous. He finishes so well with both hands at the rim. There was the one play. Was it Evan Mobley? I want to say it was Mobley. Dylan Harper goes up and he tries to go up for the right hand dunk. And I want to say it was Evan Mobley that blocked him, if y'all remember that play. So just a great block by whichever Cavaliers player that was. I'm not 100% sure it was Evan Mobley, but we love Dylan Harper. He has the 4 turnovers out there. Speaking of turnovers, we'll move on to Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle has the 15 points, 5 for 6 from the line. There was one play, if y'all remember, he kind of blows by DeAndre Hunter. It was in the fourth quarter. DeAndre Hunter just puts both forearms up and just hits him with basically a forearm shiver in the chest. It wasn't dirty, but it knocks Stephon Castle off balance. He loses the ball, and it results in a turnover. So we could take that one turnover away. That shouldn't have been a turnover, but Stephon Castle does have the 5 turnovers. Castle, he's number 5 in the league right now in turnovers. The players ahead of him, it's Luka Doncic, Denny Advia, Cade Cunningham, and James Harden. So, he's number 5 in the NBA in turnovers. I love Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle is absolutely untouchable. We were talking to the Bucks about possibly making the Giannis trade, and the Spurs said, Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, if you mention their name, we're just going to hang up the phone. Y'all can't have either one of those guys. I agree. I love Stephon Castle. He's going to be a fringe superstar player. He may become a superstar. He'll be a perennial all-star. Stephon Castle is going to be just fine, but I don't understand when we have Dylan Harper, we have De'Aaron Fox, especially De'Aaron Fox. He plays more minutes with Stephon Castle. Just give the ball to De'Aaron Fox. Let De'Aaron Fox orchestrate the offense because he's less turnover prone. He's going to do a better job than Stephon Castle running the offense and just taking better care of the ball. With that being said, if De'Aaron Fox is running the offense and Stephon Castle is off ball, now Stephon Castle is more of a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, and he just can't shoot threes. He's a really bad shooter right now. He's been working on it. Of course, hopefully he'll get his 3-ball going sooner or later, but he's 0 for 3 this game and just not a good 3-point shooter. I'm sure he's going to work on it, but that's our little conundrum. Is that the word I'm looking for? That's our little conundrum, because if we have De'Aaron Fox running the offense, like I said, he's going to do a better job than Stephon Castle, in my opinion. He'll take better care of the ball. Then Castle will have less turnovers. De'Aaron Fox can still give us, 7 to 10 assists along with his scoring. If we need him to do that, he's capable of doing that. But like I said, then if we do that, now Stephon Castle is off ball. He's more of an off ball spot up 3-point shooter at that point, and then we're not getting the most out of Stephon Castle having him be a spot up shooter. So that's where it's kind of weird. I always say we just have to take the good with the bad, take the bad with the good, whatever you want to say with Castle, because when he has 5 turnovers in the game, I'm honestly not surprised when he has, high turnover games like this, and that's not good to say. I shouldn't be surprised when you have 5 turnovers, but Stephon, he's really turnover prone. He's a really bad 3-point shooter right now. Just an elite point of attack defender Really good playmaker. I'm not surprised when he has 7 or 8 assists, so he does a good job of that as well. Um, but like I said, we just have to take the bad with the good. He's still developing. We have to let Stephon Castle shoot and miss threes in games. We have to let him drive into the paint, kick the ball out, and get turnovers in games. That way, after the game is over, just like this game, Mitch Johnson can get with Stephon Castle. All of our film guys can get with him and say, this is where you made this mistake. This is where you made this mistake. So they can go over it and try to help him find some better looks from three. Try to help him find some better decisions he can make and take better care of the basketball. But yeah, we just have to live with it. We have to let him make the turnovers and miss the shots just so we can get better at it. One thing I'll notice with Castle, he does it a lot. Let me know if y'all notice too, but he'll drive into the paint. Luke Cornett is rolling with him. He'll jump and he'll jump. He's in the air and he's trying to make a decision in the air if he wants to pass the ball out to the corner or hit Luke Cornett or whatever it is. And Castle does that a lot. Like, he'll get off of his feet, he'll jump up in the paint and try to make decisions in the air. And you just can't do that. That's one thing I've noticed, over and over again with him. And I'm sure Mitch Johnson, all the guys are trying to work on it with him. I'm sure he knows that he does it. And, you're playing, everything's going 100 miles an hour and it just happens. But that's one thing I want to see with Castle. Just stay on your feet. Don't try to jump in the air and make decisions in the air with the ball, because I've noticed a lot of his turnovers will come, when he's rolling with Luke Cornett, he jumps in the air and he tries to make the cross court pass. I feel like 60-70% of Stephon's turnovers come when he's trying to make that cross court pass to the corner. And a lot of the time it's when he jumps and gets off of his feet, when he gets himself into trouble. But I love Stephon Castle. Like I said again, we could let De'Aaron Fox run the show, and he would probably have less turnovers. But then Stephon Castle turns into a spot up 3-point shooter, and you don't get the best out of him when he's doing that. So, he'll get better. He's a sophomore player. He'll take better care of the ball as the season goes on. I haven't seen him improve at it so far, to be honest, but I'm not worried about Castle. If we're getting closer to the playoffs and he still has these high turnover rates, maybe I'll get a little more concerned. But one more point about Stephon Castle again, it's Deni Avdija, Luka Doncic, Cade Cunningham, and James Harden. Those are the 4 guys in the NBA that are averaging more turnovers per game than Stephon Castle. But Stephon Castle is 45th in the league in usage rate, so Stephon Castle doesn't have the ball in his hands nearly as much as these other players that are ahead of him in turnovers. So just a learning curve for him, man. Stephon's going to be fine, but I'm sure we all notice the high turnover numbers, and it's just something I'm going to bring up when it happens, but he'll get better at it. Moving on, Victor Wembanyama. Wemby was Wemby out there. Stephon Castle has that lob off the backboard in the first quarter to Wemby for the nasty dunk. Wemby has 26 points, 14 rebounds, 1 block, 1 steal, 3 assists, 12 free throws. He's doing a better job just playing physical basketball and getting to the free throw line. He's getting more respect from the referees. As you play more physical, the refs tend to respect you a bit more, and he's doing a good job getting to the free throw line. So I do like to see that. He's 44% from the field, so not a very efficient game for Wemby. 2 for 6 from 3, so that's all good. Wemby's minus 17. Castle's minus 17 as well. Plus minus can be a bit of a misleading stat at times, but I feel like Mitch Johnson is still learning just how to better rotate our 3-guard monster with De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, and Stephon Castle. We're still learning what matchups work best. What lineups work best next to each other, because it probably hasn't even been, maybe 5 or 6 games we've had Fox, Castle, and Dylan Harper all healthy together and they're at the same time. So Mitch Johnson is still learning what lineups work best next to each other. One cool thing with Wemby, he only had 2 turnovers this game. One thing I'll notice with Wemby, I always mention it, when he's dribbling the ball out beyond the 3-point line, or say he's bringing the ball up full court off the dribble, when he brings his dribble inside the 3-point line, the defense tends to collapse on him, and then he might get ripped, he might be out of control and get a charging foul. Maybe he tries to kick out to the corner and gets a turnover. And I've noticed a lot of Wemby's turnovers will come once he gets off the dribble and gets inside of the 3-point line off the dribble. I didn't see that a lot this game, so that is nice to see. He wasn't trying to use his dribble moves to get inside the arc so much. I don't mind Wemby dribbling the ball. He's improved his ball handle over the offseason. I'll always say, if Wemby's isolated with a 7 footer, use your dribble moves, bro. Go between the legs, behind the back, step back three. Wemby can shake up a 7 footer. There's not really any 7 footers that can guard him out on the perimeter, but I like to see him use his dribble package to get into a three ball, kind of like he did against Vucevic when we played the Bulls and Wemby knocked down those two dagger threes at the end of the game. But once Wemby gets off the dribble and he gets inside the 3 point line, I feel like it usually doesn't end up with a good possession. A lot of the times it ends up in a turnover, a charging foul, things like that. But that's just one thing Wemby is working on as well. But all credit to the Cavaliers. The Cavs played a great game. They're number 8 in the Eastern Conference right now, but Jared Allen had a broken finger a lot of the season, and Cleveland is also just getting their team back healthy. But Cleveland is probably one of the best teams in the East, regardless of their record. Their record doesn't totally indicate how good they are as a team. But yeah, man, Spurs lost back to back. It's all good. We're still number 2 in the Western Conference. I am worried about Harrison Barnes and Julian Champagnie with their 3 point shooting. I'm worried about our entire team's 3 point shooting, but we are still getting good looks out there. We're still just learning how to play with our entire team healthy, because it's maybe been like 5 or 6 games that our entire team is out there and healthy. So we're still going through our learning curves. We'll be just fine. Hopefully we can get our 3 point shooting going again, and then we'll look better out there. But yeah, man, we lose back to back. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 7 million subscribers. Let me know what you thought about this performance against Cleveland, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.